So this week on Filmstruck, we've added 20 films by William A. Wellman. Wellman is probably best known for directing Wings, the very first Best Picture winner. Um, but he made films from the silent era all the way through the 1950s, and we have quite a bit of these films on Filmstruck. We do not have Wings, unfortunately, but we have a whole bunch, including several of his pre-code films. And so last night, with some friends, I watched one that I had never seen before. At first, I thought maybe I had, but I realized I was confusing it with Frisco Jenny, which is a totally different film with a similar framing device. This one, based on an original story by Anita Loos, stars Loretta Young as an orphan who, at the beginning of the film, you see her as a grown woman and she's on trial for something. You don't know what. And as she's waiting for the jury to deliberate, you see her entire life story. You see her as an orphan girl who gets into trouble for various things that she didn't actually do, but because she's this lower class person, they keep thinking she's actually done these things. And eventually, she can't get any work, and she finds herself being basically a mall for a gang and helping them rob people because she doesn't talk, and it even goes to jail at one point and spends 3 years in prison, and you're like, what? Meanwhile, at one point, she meets Franchot Tone, a lawyer, fancy lawyer, and an heir to a fortune who is lonely and takes a liking to her and helps her kind of pull herself out of this world, even though he doesn't know that that's the world she's in, and eventually become a secretary, and you think her life's going to get better, and then the incident that she's on trial for happens. The film is very pre-code in that it includes, like men beating women and scandalous dressing and lots of drinking during Prohibition and crimes and robberies and all kinds of things. What it fails to have, though, and a woman like shooting somebody, always good in a pre-code. What it fails to have, though, is a black, bleak ending. It has almost too happy of an ending for me, which you can see this is towards the end of the pre-code era. And honestly, it had to, as much as I love Franchot Tone and I loved having them together, like I wanted an unhappy, like she goes to the gas chamber and kind of ending, but it was a slightly happy ending pre-code. It definitely felt like a film designed for Joan Crawford. It was at MGM, that was her home studio. Often they have Loretta Young with her makeup and costumes to look a lot like Joan Crawford, and they even referenced Joan Crawford on a billboard at one point, or a theater marquee at one point, and you're like, did Joan Crawford just like turn down this role? And so you're like, yeah, we'll just make Loretta Young look like Joan Crawford. It also includes a very on the nose, wonderful, creepy performance from Ricardo Cortez, who was not actually Hispanic. They sort of made him into a Latin lover type, even though he was not. He just had dark coloring. Oh, Hollywood. So if you're a fan of like racy crime romance pre-codes, this is a good one. If you like Loretta Young or Franchot Tone, they have great chemistry. He's very charming in this movie, actually. He's always charming, though. He's Franchot Tone. So I recommend it. I just was a little disappointed by the ending. So you can watch it currently on Filmstruck.